really excited about the possibility of relocating one of our franchises to Morgantown. The New York Penn League is 74 years old. We started in 1939. It is one of the premier, or not the premier, short season league in minor league baseball. We average a little over 1.7 million in attendance annually, and we've had a number of Hall of Famers and stars come through our league. Everything from Warren Spahn to Nellie Fox to Wade Boggs. We've had, I think, 7 or 8 Hall of Famers, and then just a number of stars in the game today. The 14 clubs are all affiliated with Major League Baseball clubs. We start approximately mid-June and end the first week of September. The players who fill our rosters are those players primarily who have been drafted in the draft in early June. So we will get the highest draft picks, college players. It's a very competitive level of ball, and we also get a lot of the blue chip prospects that the major league clubs are drafting. In short, taking a look at the location of this proposal, it's going to be an outstanding location to put a baseball stadium. Have to really thank Jason and his group for the vision of seeing a possibility of a ball club up there, as well as Oliver Luck and his group. So in short, we're just thrilled about the potential opportunity to relocate here. We do have relationships with other universities. Because we are a short season, it really fits really well in working with other universities. For example, we manage and operate at the facility at Penn State University, so we share that facility with the Nittany Lions baseball club. We also have ball clubs on the campus of Hudson Valley Community College in Troy, New York, on the University of Massachusetts Lowell campus in Lowell, Massachusetts, as well as a ball club on the Vermont campus at their stadium. So it is something that works very well with universities, and it's a relationship that we look forward to very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes. Mr. Pat O'Connor is next. He is president of Minor League Baseball. Mr. O'Connor.
Thank you. Good morning, Mike. Ben, it's good to be with you. And I made a comment to Ben. I played some minor league games with smaller crowds than this, so I'm very impressed with the turnout. And this is a very exciting time in our business to create win-wins, to create situations that are going to expand the reach of minor league baseball are exciting. I want to thank Kevin for being here and helping out, Craig this morning at breakfast, and Jason and Monview for your vision. Vision is a pretty cool thing, and there's a tremendous vision here in Morgantown and across the river at what's got a chance to happen here. But it's part of a much bigger thing. Minor league baseball is 160 cities across the United States, but it's also Venezuela, Mexico, the Dominican Republic. There are over 250 clubs and over 41 million fans a year who attend minor league baseball games. Our economic engine is over $700 million a year in gross revenues. So you are becoming part of a bigger thing, and we welcome the opportunity for Morgantown to join our family. Things like this just don't happen. And I know that I was on campus 2 years ago and spoke to a sports management group for Dallas Branch, a college classmate of mine at Ohio University, and had an opportunity to visit with Oliver Luck, met him for the first time, and it was very clear that this was a man that, one, loved his university and loved his job, but also had vision. And it was at that point that the seed was planted, and Ben and Oliver and the people who are working here on a day-to-day basis have nurtured that seed into what is going to be a phenomenal asset for not only Morgantown, but the surrounding community and the whole state of West Virginia, and certainly the university. I think that the win-win includes the university to the highest level, Mike. It's going to be a facility, one, that you'll be proud of, but it's also going to be a facility that's going to help you recruit better players, host regional tournaments, and be in a situation to elevate your game, so to speak, literally and figuratively. So I think it's an exciting time for the university as well. I'd also like to congratulate the elected officials officials, the staff, all of the people who have put in the work and did all the heavy lifting and carried the water on this. This is a time where it takes great vision and great courage to step out of the box of public spending and allocate funds, resources, human and financials, for a project like this. So the state's to be commended, the county and the city are to be commended. You will not regret what you're about to do from an economic standpoint, from a quality of life standpoint, and just from a affordable family entertainment standpoint. So we're very excited. The best thing that can happen to here is I go back to warm St. Petersburg tonight and let the people who have carried all the water take this and push it across the goal line or score the run at home plate, because I think you're really going to be proud of what you have, what you're going to get. The quality of the people is going to match the quality that we've seen here in Morgantown here to date. So thank you for having us, and I guess we're open for some questions.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. O'Connor. The table will now take questions from the media. Please state your name and affiliation so they know who they're talking to. Dave?
I'm Dave McClung, CLG Radio. My questions for Mike, twofold question. Mike, number one, it's my understanding this is not a completely done deal yet until the legislature approves it. Is that correct?
That's correct, and Jason might want to help out on here a little bit as well, but there is another step. It still needs to go through the House and, of course, the governor's approval, and then there's a few other administrative things that have to be done on campus to move it forward as well.
And second part of the question is, Mike, if this does all go through, what happens to Holly Field?
Well, that's to be determined. I mean, we haven't really addressed that yet. A lot of it will depend on the time frame and some of the other things that take place, but certainly it'll maintain some use for the athletic program.
Todd, very difficult things. Why are you still confident that this stadium will be ready next summer?
Well, our goal right now is realistically for the 2015 season for collegiate side of it. We're not ruling out anything beyond that at this point, but a lot of it will determine, once we have the approval, we'll meet with the architects and designers and what they call a criteria developer, and that'll help set the stage on what our time frame will be.
My question is for Ben. You've got one league right now, or one division now with 6 teams, 2 with 4. Is there a possibility that this would just be one of a 2-team expansion to even up the divisions?
It would not be an expansion. It would be a relocation of an existing franchise from where they are now to Morgantown. There might be some divisional changes, clubs going, switching divisions, but it would stay with the same format, a 6-team division and 2 4-team divisions.
Ben, what is the status of the Pirates agreement with Jamestown?
I believe they signed a 2-year player development contract with Jamestown.
Through 14?
Excuse me?
Through 2014, or?
It would be, through 2014. They changed, and this is a common thing among clubs, is every once in a while you'll get some movement between affiliations. So there was a 3-way swap last year. The Cardinals went to State College, Pirates went to Jamestown, and the Marlins went to Batavia.
Well, what I'm thinking, if this thing were to be ready by June of 2014, where you could come in here, would the league come in here then, or would they not be able to do that until the 2015 season?
No, I believe we could. If the stadium was ready by 2014, I think it's possible we could be here.
Any other questions for our table?
Does anyone know what happens to the Charleston Pirate team if they move a team here? Will they keep that? Do you know? Or?
Yeah, well, under our rules, teams are granted territories, And Charleston has its own territory, which is not in conflict with this, and we spoke a little bit about that before the press conference. And I really think it's a win-win. It'll create more interest in baseball. It'll create an opportunity for fans of Morgantown to maybe see a player at the short season Class A level play in Charleston later on as a home team or a visiting team player. So I think, when you cultivate fans and players in that way, I think it's a positive. I think there are also some interlocking marketing opportunities on a regional basis. So I don't think it's going to be a detriment. In fact, we've not heard any pushback from Charleston, even aesthetically.
Yeah, from a baseball family standpoint, this makes a lot of sense. This area is not serviced right now by affiliated baseball, and so it would be able to have affiliated baseball in this area and be able to see the up-and-coming stars for Major League Baseball tomorrow.
The signings, they pushed the signing day, it used to be August 15th, I believe it's now July 15th. Did they go into effect last season, or is that this?
I think the signing deadline is 2 weeks after the draft.
It's a fluctuating date, but a round date to shoot for is July 15th. It has moved up, and that creates a shorter window to sign fresh players.
And what has happened is players are now signing earlier and getting into the short season leagues and actually being able to play.
That's what I was going to ask, the fact that was on your being able to get some of those players
Absolutely.
in there.
It's all player specific, depending on the circumstance he's coming out of, how much he's played up to that point, pitchers on innings, pitch counts. But it does increase the likelihood that a player will come in and play in the current calendar year as opposed to signing a successor agreement and playing the next year. Yeah. So it's good for short season baseball.
I think last year we had seven or number one picks that actually played in the league. So out of 14, that's pretty good from a standpoint of the talent level, and getting an idea of what's happening at with the signings and so forth. In past years, given the fact that they were able to wait until August 15th, delayed that signing, and so we didn't see them. So it has improved.
The fact that anyone would leave St. Petersburg and come up here at this time of year would make you suspect that whether this dependent upon the passing of this thing, that this is a done deal.
Well, I've been around long enough to know that, as Yogi used to say, it ain't over till it's over. But we feel very good about it. There are a lot of places I could be on March 26th, and it's a pleasure to be here. And I think it is indicative of the excitement that we share for the possibility that the project come to fruition. Absolutely.
Yeah. I would just like to echo that, and there are some legislative steps that need to be done. We were going through some of those this morning, but everything does look favorable. The governor is in favor of the bill. Office of Economic Development has approved the bonding capacity of that TIF. So there are a lot of hurdles that have been overcome, and now you're correct. It just needs to get through the House, and once the House approves it, I believe that's the governor needs to sign it, and we're off the races, so to speak. Am I correct, Mike?
Yes, I mean, it does need to come back and go, I think, back to the county commission one more time, but then it'll move forward from there. Then again, there's some campus administrative things that have to take place as well.
What do you mean by that, Mike?
Board of Governors approval.
And just to add, from a baseball standpoint, we will have our own process that we'll have to go through as well for the relocation. A club would have to be chosen by the league. They would then need to submit a relocation application both to minor league baseball and to the league. We would then go through that relocation application and then have that approved by our board, as well as the president of minor league baseball and the commissioner's office.
I assume you have New York Penn donors have meetings. Is this possibility, which I assume has been broached? What has been the reaction other Rangers?
I think the reaction from the league is of excitement. We don't take relocations lightly. The communities that we serve currently and that host us are fantastic communities, and some of them have been with us, since the inception of the league in 1939. Some of those cities have not been able to maintain development over time and have actually regressed somewhat economically, and that has affected some of the operations. So we do have 2 or 3 clubs that could relocate. So it's not a lack of clubs. It's really finding a good place that we would want to call home, and we believe we found one.
Mike, can you kind of talk about how important it was for you guys to have the support of the league here to help make the stadium more useful in order to push this through legislation?
Well, I think what it does is it shows that it provides more than just an opportunity for Western University to play baseball. I mean, it's more for the community. It helps us socially, it helps us recreationally, it helps us economically to expand just the 3 months that we'll be using it. We'll be using it again in the fall for fall ball, but basically, we play a championship season in March, April, and May. But this expands the season, the use of it, and more economic impact to the community.
Mike, has there been any discussions with any of the local Division II teams, maybe using this field, such as Fairmont State, maybe Alderson Broadus, teams like that?
Well, that's a good point. Yes, there has been discussion with Fairmont State about using it. Also, potentially the American Legion here in Morgantown. Also with the West Virginia SSAC about potentially using it for tournament play as well.
Mike, as you guys have explored this, how would this stadium compare to other Big 12 stadiums in terms of seating, facility, and all that?
Well, a lot of the details are yet to be worked out as far as capacity, et cetera, but one of the things that if you go through the Big 12 schools, they all have nice facilities, great facilities, and we know that we have to step up to keep up with the Big 12.
And if I could add, one thing to include the professional ranks, we have a set of facility standards that facilities must meet, which will only enhance the value to West Virginia University. For us to put professional athletes out, there are certain things that are required, and it's a fairly comprehensive set of standards. Some guidelines, some mandatory. So I think that, without having seen the rest of the Big 12, I think that West Virginia will take a big step towards the top as far as its physical plant and its facility for its players, the amenities for the coaches, the fans, the things that are going to make it a complete baseball experience, enhance the quality of life. And I think from an EDC standpoint, I think your major employers are going to be interested to know that there's something here in this community now for their employees to do. And when you're looking to recruit new businesses, we have found that a professional baseball team is an asset to quality of life measures and quality of life issues for employers when they think about establishing a physical plant in your community.
And I'll just add that not only for amateur baseball, but there's opportunities for other events there as well. One of the things that minor league baseball operators do so well is utilize the facility throughout the whole year, whether it be concerts or whether it be other type of events, corporate outings, those type of things. There's always a desire to use that facility to its fullest. So I know the club here, that's one of the things that they would be looking to do is, in addition to West Virginia baseball or other baseball opportunities, whether they're tournaments, NCAA tournaments, that type, or things that are not baseball related, totally unrelated to baseball.
And to that point, I think it's critically important that we're here in an athletic setting talking about athletics and professional baseball, but I think you're going to see a tremendous spillover into the academic side because you are creating a laboratory for students to learn game operations, to learn business, to learn marketing, and in a college setting, it's so ideal. We do that across the board very well in minor league baseball. with internships and programs that allow students to learn the game hands-on in a working environment. But right now, you're going to create a laboratory here in Morgantown for Dallas's program, the business school,
Media center,
media, hospitality. The whole thing is going to have a laboratory there that's going to be a working, living, breathing thing that's going to enhance the academics here as well.
Kevin, you said some of the mandatory things that are required for the stadium to house a team. You hit on maybe 2 or 3 of the
Clubhouse size. I mean, obviously field dimension, and there are grade and pitch, and those are very standard in any field that you're going to put, how it's oriented to the sun, different things like that, rule book type of things. Lighting standards, foot candles, infield, outfield, clubhouses, locker rooms, number of lockers, square footage, training space, batting cages, different aspects of that. There are 2 aspects to a minor league facility standard. One is fan amenity, number of toilets per person, parking per person, concession outlets per person, but then there is the player development side, which is very geared to the athletic aspect of it. Clubhouses, training room, playing facilities, how big are the dugouts, different things like that that allow a coaching staff to come in and have the resources available to them to develop the talent.
Have you provided all the legislative stuff goes through Board of Governors approval, County Commission and everything? Not to make a pun here, could you give us possibly a ballpark as to when we might know what franchises might be in place here?
It would probably be, well, if everything goes through, and depending on which year it is that we figure out when it's going to occur, whether we're able to move into the facility in 2014 or 2015, I would say probably about 3 months, 4 months in advance of that. Probably be after the baseball winter meetings, which are usually in the first week of December, and that's where we'll probably take it up with the board of directors for the league, and then I would see that quickly moves from that point on.
I'm not sure which one of you could answer this, but the operating agreement between the university and the franchise or minor league baseball, would it be like a lease? Would it be, I'm assuming the university wouldn't be running concerts, but they would be running the baseball side. How would that work?
That's all to be determined.
Yeah, that's something that we need to get through the legislature first, and then once we know we have an opportunity, we can start narrowing down those type of issues.
Since I'm sitting next to a lawyer, I'll tell you, we don't engage the lawyers until the last minute. They're very expensive.
Have either one of you dealt with kids before in this type of a fundraising thing?
They are much more common than you would think. It's something you never take for granted. It's a local decision. All politics are local. It's a local decision, but the concept is used quite often.
And it's been around for a while.
I remember you said something earlier, though, about some of the parks around it had, some of the parks that had, I think, the deterioration of the economy, things like that, right? Not related to kids, but for something that's sustained, what has to happen around, like a new ballpark, especially, so it takes off and it keeps going?
Well, I would say location first, and then, of course, the fan amenities would be next. You want to create a good fan experience. Having a stadium that's difficult to get to or doesn't have the creature comforts that people are looking for today, whether it be women going to the restroom and having big crowds there, or men having big crowds, having enough toilets, for example, is key. You don't want those type of things to happen. So I would say location, ease of access near the interstate is a key thing that we look at when we look at locations. This particular location is ideal in that sense. Then you look at traffic nearby. I believe the road up on the Village Center is 20,000 cars a day, which is fantastic. And then with the facility standards in place now, the newer stadiums that are coming online, those meet the fan amenities and address those situations. So, in a nutshell, I think the location that Morgantown is looking at is ideal. It's ideal for West Virginia University as well as minor league baseball.
And I think to expand on that slightly, I think it's the concept of creating a destination and a multifaceted destination. And what was so impressive today with the tour that Jason took us on, and to sit up on that bluff and to see what was going on, is the quality of tenants that are already in the area. So you're creating a destination not only for an athletic event, but entertainment, shopping, dining. So when you create that kind of destination, it's multi-purpose, and I think that sustains TIF, that sustains area, and that promotes further growth. Because the capitalists in this country are going to go where you get the people. And I'll tell you what, our people in minor league baseball have an innate ability to get a lot of people in one place at one time for one reason, as do the people who are already occupying town center. So I think that you've got a winning combination there.
Is there any cost sharing, like, as far as construction goes, with the league or with minor league baseball or anything, to build a park that would bring them in here?
Is that for me?
Yeah, anybody wants to, anyone that knows?
Well, I'll address that if you don't mind. Generally speaking, there are obviously things that everybody needs to bring to the table, so to speak. I don't believe the TIF is going to build out that stadium completely. There is going to be some expectation that the minor league club participate and West Virginia participate. But those kind of details and how much, really we need more information on the design, construction, how big it's going to be, that type thing.
And on the design, are you going to have to build like dual clubhouses to house your people, as well as something different for the organized baseball clubhouse?
Potentially that's the case, but again, what we will do is retain a criteria developer who will sit down with all the parties and determine what needs to be in the stadium.
Time to go. The backdrop fell. Typically what happens, you build 3 or 4 clubhouses. It's always nice for the tenants to have their clubhouse. Again, depending on what the vision is for the facility, if you're going to host high school tournaments, state tournaments, regional type tournaments, a 4th clubhouse, 3rd and 4th clubhouse are a great option. It all comes down to cost and design and the build out. But typically in these situations, you don't want West Virginia to have to give up its clubhouse. You don't want the home team to have to give up its clubhouse. So typically you build 3.
Yep.
Visitors are always the visitors.
And again, this is not an unusual situation across the country. There's other situations. We were talking this morning about University of Oregon and they're sharing with another Class A short season league. It's the Northwest League out there. Same thing. They had a design build, and the university shares that facility with them.
Ironically, that's where Jed Jerko started his professional career, was the University of Oregon's field. So.
Like playing surface, is it going to be all turf in order to play on days like this?
Again, that will go back to the criteria developer. I mean, all those sort of details have yet to be determined.
And Ben, is that an issue with the pro team, that it happens to be an all turf surface?
Not an issue. In fact, it won't be the first. It won't be the first. I know Brooklyn is putting they sustained $5.5 million of damage this past year because of Hurricane Sandy, and rather than going in and replace the natural turf, they've decided they're going to go ahead and put artificial turf in, and so it's not an issue at all.
Mike, you keep going back to the criteria developer. I totally get that, but how much of this is beyond the we'll talk about it later phase? Like, I mean, when you sit down with that person, you'll have a pretty good idea of what you want.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Coach Mazey has in his mind what he would like to see. I mean, we've had some conversations about what we would like to see, the amount of locker rooms, capacity, just the general conversations. But once you sit down with a developer, he will sit down and put everything on paper. What's the square footage? What's the space of the footprint of the stadium? What's the parking capacity going to be? All those things to be determined, and that will obviously translate into what the stadium's going to cost as well. So he will facilitate all the things that will go into the stadium for both the pro team and for the college teams.
Having dealt with enough of those guys, there's not a coach in the world that doesn't have his laundry list of what he wants in his building.
Mike, Like you said, you guys might not obviously be able to get in there till 2015. Would you plan to schedule the same way as you did this year, playing Big 12 games in Charleston and other stadiums around the state?
Well, we have a 2-year contract with both facilities. Now, we can get out the second year if we so choose, but we do have 2-year agreements with both facilities in Beckley and Charleston.
Mr. Hayes, one of the questions that the media were talking about beforehand, if you could explain a little bit, there's baseball in lots of communities, but this is a chance for Morgantown to get a team-affiliated minor league baseball team, and that in itself makes a big difference as the community is able to watch future stars go through the ranks.
Absolutely. The difference between affiliated baseball and independent baseball is huge. Affiliated baseball is affiliated with Major League Baseball. We've had that partnership with Major League Baseball since 1901, and that's over time. And every minor league club is affiliated with a major league club. There's nobody that does not have a PDC, and that is part of the agreement with Major League Baseball. Although there is, technically, affiliations can change, they're always going to have an affiliation. As a result, you're getting the best players that Major League Baseball, they're scouting all over the place, including independent league clubs, and when they draft players or sign players, they're signing the players that they think can make it to the major leagues. So guys like Ivan Longoria or Andrew McCutcheon or Don Mattingly or Warren Spahn, you're not going to see that kind of talent going through the independent league clubs. You might, every once in a while, you'll see somebody come out of independent league and make it to the majors, but the blue chip prospects in baseball are signed by the major league clubs, and they play in minor league baseball.
I think it's important to note the stability of minor league baseball has been indicated. We've been affiliated with Major League Baseball since 1901 in successor continuous agreements. Our current agreement runs through 2020. So we're guaranteed that affiliation with Major League Baseball for the next 7 seasons, and after this one, and there's no reason to think that that relationship won't continue. The partnership between Major League Baseball and minor league baseball has never been stronger. Just for instance, all of the umpires that will come through the New York Penn League are part of a system, much like the players. And major league umpires come from the minor leagues. So you're not only going to see the best young players, but the best young umpires in the game. And if you're so inclined, you can root for the umpire and watch him make his way to the major leagues as well.